like money, motherfucker? Money be green. Money feel like money. That shit look green to you?
So if you like the content, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Also follow us at TheMandatory. TKO. Artur Beterbiev back in the ring this weekend. He is a minus 450 against Callum Smith, who is a plus 320. Now, Artur Beterbiev, if you were listening to this on the audio side, which, by the way, you can find this on the audio side, he's 19-0. 19 of those wins coming by way of knockout. He's got a 100% knockout rate. Absolutely crazy. And he's taken a guy, Callum Smith, 29-1. And that one loss against Canelo Alvarez, which Canelo beat him by unanimous decision, if I am not mistaken. So Beterbiev, known for his vicious power. Callum Smith, a formidable opponent. Bryan, how are you betting this one?
This is a good fight. I want to say that on the front end. Like, Callum Smith is not a pushover. I do think, and this is where I worry about this fight, really for both guys, but mostly Callum Smith, there's a couple of long layoffs here. So we haven't seen Artur Beterbiev in about a year exactly. It was Anthony Yarde, the knockout in January of 2023, the last we saw Artur Beterbiev, which was a very fun fight that ended spectacularly. And Callum Smith, we haven't seen since August of 2020, which was on, I believe, the second Anthony Joshua Alexander Usyk card. I don't know why I put Anthony Joshua first in that fight, but hey, Alexander Usyk won that, obviously. But Callum Smith had a bad knockout in that one. Like, his opponent had a seizure. They stopped the fight. Like, it was a knockout of the year contender. And a reminder that you don't play boxing. But I think this fight is a very interesting one because Artur Beterbiev is used to having this height and reach disadvantage. He has another one here, and Callum Smith has a big advantage. 6'3", 78-inch reach. Artur Beterbiev close to 6 feet. His reach is about 72, 73 inches. So there's a disadvantage there, but 5 of the last 6 guys he's fought also had advantages in both departments, or at least one or the other. And he's been fine. He still knocks people out. Canelo Alvarez is the only guy to beat Callum Smith, which is very interesting because Canelo Alvarez is about 5'8", and like 70-inch reach, and he bullied him. He dominated him. He was able to get inside and push him around and land uppercuts and hurt him to the body multiple times, back him up. Callum Smith was trying to use his length, but Canelo Alvarez was able to just break through that over and over again. Won a wide decision, didn't get a knockout, but it looked like a couple different times Callum Smith could have gotten floored very badly. And I think Artur Beterbiev is probably stronger. He's definitely bigger than Canelo Alvarez, and he has a better finishing rate and is beating some good competition. So I like Callum Smith to win this fight and retain his light heavyweight titles. And I took a couple of bets on this. One of them is by exact method. I like him minus 110 to win by TKO. So that's
you're taking Callum Smith? You said you're taking Callum Smith.
My bad.
Oh my God. I was like, this is crazy. What is going on here? I was like, did I hear that right? Did you say Callum Smith win by TKO? What? Like, what is good?
You know what?
What are you sipping on over there? Is that Canadian maple syrup?
Let's leave that in. Okay. Let's leave that in. I wish I had Canadian maple syrup. Fuck, I ran out from when I went to Montreal last year. So
sweet, but anyways.
I liked it. So I'm taking Artur Beterbiev, exact method of victory. So Artur Beterbiev, exact method of victory, TKO minus 110. It's one of the bets I really like for this fight. And I think Beterbiev is somebody who, he's won by TKO, I believe, in 4 of his last 5 fights or something along those lines. Like, he has a high TKO finishing rate. Obviously, he could get the one-punch knockout, but, more than likely stoppage is by TKO here. The knockout, by the way, was plus 220, so there's some interesting juice there if you think it's going to be a one-shot KO. One other bet I like is Beterbiev to win and score at least 2 knockdowns, so over 1.5 knockdowns. That was plus 150. Both of those at a book I'm not going to name because they don't sponsor us, but those are 2 bets that I like for this fight. I think
Artur TheMandatory.
Yeah. 2024. That's what it's going to be about. Artur Beterbiev, I think, ultimately gets it done, and the pressure cracks Callum Smith, who's going to be tested very early because the pressure will be there, and Callum Smith hasn't been in the ring for almost a year and a half.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with this one, Bryan, is the layoff, especially for a guy like Callum Smith. That is an extremely long layoff. And even though that his one loss is Canelo Alvarez, which I think is a pretty good loss to have on your resume, like I'm never looking at a fighter and taking a look at his L and being like, oh, he took an L. I just look at Callum Smith, and he comes from a very tough family. I don't think he should be looked at in this fight as just someone that's going to be walked right through, because Artur Beterbiev is 39 years old. He's also coming off a bit of a long layoff. Now, everyone knows that father time catches up to you at one point. We saw that with Deontay Wilder, and it was absolutely shocking to me. Callum Smith is a very, very good fighter. Now, there was one fight that I remember with Artur Beterbiev. It was against Marcus Brown. That was a fight that he didn't get off to a very good start, and then he saw his own blood. You know, like, what's that movie? Is it Dodgeball? Where he's like, nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
It was Dodgeball.
That's what I feel happened to Artur Beterbiev in that match. It's like he wasn't fighting really well. Marcus Brown was doing like pretty good things. He was landing the jab. He was walking him down. He was getting Beterbiev in a corner. And I was like, what's going on? And then there was a gash. And I do believe that Artur Beterbiev in that fight, he saw his own blood and was like, nobody makes me bleed my own blood. And he just went off. And then he just like, I don't know what happened. It was like killer instinct. But then he took down a guy like Marcus Brown. You know, he won that fight by knockout. Brown was down in rounds 7 and 9 in that fight. And ever since then, we saw him fight Joe Smith Jr., a fight where I was really, really hoping Joe Smith Jr. could do some damage, but Beterbiev came in like a monster.
Yeah.
And it's like, and took care of Joe Smith Jr., who is a very, very good fighter, in my opinion, as well. And I just love the blue collar story of him as well. A Long Island guy. So you probably
fellow New Yorker. Hell yeah. We love Joe
course.
Smith Jr. over here.
And Anthony Yard is also a very good opponent as well. So Artur Beterbiev, 100% knockout rate. And the one thing that I noticed in his last fight, and this is where I think Callum Smith might struggle. So when Artur Beterbiev leans in to throw his jab, when he does it off his front foot, he's going to throw the up jab. When he does it off his back foot, he's going to throw the overhand. And I think Callum Smith is a guy that he doesn't have quick feet. And so he's going to get caught with those punches when he leans in. And he uses the high guard. I think sometimes he can fight like a small dude. Like he doesn't use his size. He's not like Sebastian Fundora. You know what I mean? Like he does use his size a little bit better. But there's some times where I feel like he fights like a small fighter. And the thing about Callum Smith is he is skilled. He does have power in his left. Like he is a guy that has power, but it's not devastating power. Like you're not going to see him knock out a guy like Artur Beterbiev. So for me, I think Artur Beterbiev, like even when he lands the jab, you can hear it. Like it's just vicious. Like the guy has ridiculous power, and they're saying he's Canadian now. So you know, I got to roll for that. My fellow Canadian, we will claim him because he's knocking out dudes left, right, and center. But for me, I think Artur Beterbiev gets it done. I think the layoff for Callum Smith is going to be an issue, but I do think Callum Smith is going to shock the world. I do think he's going to shock the world and make it past the 5th round. So
Wow.
I am going to take Artur Beterbiev to win in rounds 5 through 8. And that's a plus 260. I do think Callum Smith is very tough. I also think there's a potential for this to go into the later rounds, because I do believe in his toughness. Smith family, extremely tough, but Artur Beterbiev, he's a different animal, a different beast. And I haven't seen Father Time catch up to him yet. And if Callum Smith makes him bleed his own blood, it's a wrap. Like, that's all I'm going to say. Okay, because I seen what he did to Marcus Brown. So I'm rolling with Artur Beterbiev and some value there as well. I think he gets it done in the middle rounds. And yeah, this is going to be a very good fight. He's putting up his titles on the line. Callum Smith, I think, will have some good moments in this fight. I really think he will. But I think in the end, Artur Beterbiev is going to take advantage of it in the middle rounds. And it's that layoff for me. Like Callum Smith, you're going in there against a dog. You know what I mean? Like that's a tough fight. And props to Callum Smith for taking the fight. Like that's not an easy fight to take when you're coming off a long layoff like that. So that's who I'm rolling with. Any final thoughts, Bryan, before we get up and out of here?
Yeah, 2 more notes on this fight very quickly. One, Eddie Hearn did say to reporters, this is according to Michael Benson on Twitter, that the Dimitri Bivol fight is next for Artur Beterbiev. If he does win this fight, there's an agreement in place. He just has to hold up his end. So kind of like the Wilder Joshua thing again, you referenced Deontay Wilder earlier. So reading this made me a little bit nervous, but we know that this is the fight that we need in the light heavyweight division. Is for all the belts. It will be for undisputed Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev. Hopefully in 2024, we just saw Dmitry Bivol win just last month, late in the month, and it was on the Riyadh card in Saudi Arabia. So we know that he's in shape, and now Callum Smith is standing in the way of Artur Beterbiev. Hopefully Artur Beterbiev takes care of business there. The other thing was there was some like drug related shit going on apparently. I don't know if you saw this, but
solid reporting. There's some drug related shit going on. That's great reporting, man.
So this is the quote also from Michael Benson via Kevin Lowell, where he says Artur Beterbiev had a quote atypical finding for raised levels of HGH, testosterone. This was on a December 6th VADA drugs test, but both substances occur naturally in the body, and an atypical finding is not a violation, like an adverse finding, which is a positive test. So this wasn't a positive test. So the fight is set to go ahead.
Better reporting.
So the fight is set to go ahead. The fight is not in jeopardy, because I read this and I was like, oh, my bet's going to be refunded. The follow-up tests requested by VADA were all negative, so Beterbiev seems to be in the clear. However, Callum Smith is sort of saying that, you know, it's not a path test, it's not a failed test, the fight's still happening, but like, you know, there's some back and forth going on between Artur Beterbiev and Callum Smith now. And now I think Artur Beterbiev, on top of wanting to defend his title successfully in his home country of Canada, his home country now of Canada, I think he's also going to be pissed off.
Yeah, you don't want to piss him off. You don't want to make him bleed his own blood.
Top 10 boxers that you don't want to piss off. I think he's on that list firmly.
I don't even want to give Artur Beterbiev road rage. Like, let's be serious here. Like, this dude is ridiculous, and he's Canadian, so you know I'm rooting for him extra hard. But we here at the Mandatory, we do want to know how you're going to be betting this one. Are you rocking with Callum Smith, who I think is a really good boxer, but the layoff, do you think that's going to be an issue? Are you rolling with Artur Beterbiev? Has father time caught up to him? Are we going to see like a Deontay Wilder type of thing? You never know. Let us know in the comments below. And thank you so much for rocking with us. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you like the content. And Bryan, I'll give you the final thoughts before we get up and out of here.
Callum Smith, don't piss off Artur Beterbiev.
Run, Callum, run!